Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. With the enjoyment of Extreme Solutions LVR 403 and 404, which is a cleaner glaze for either light colored vehicles or darker colored vehicles. Has some pigment, so it has some filling capabilities, has some cleaning capabilities, and a little bit of protection. I thought I would revisit the Meguiar's white wax, which is practically the same thing. Will clean and put a, well, I don't know if it quote unquote layer protection, but also make the surface look glossy and dripping wet. The differences between this and the LVR 403 and 404 is LVR is more of a polymer with a pigment. This is a Montan wax. What is a Montan wax? Well, you're probably familiar with Carnauba wax, T1 Carnauba waxes, which is your highest grade. A Montan wax is also called lignite. It's a hard wax. It's found and extracted by solvents from brown coal. Guys, brown coal is a little rare. It's only found in Germany and California and a little bit in China. It is basically a fossilized plant wax, and it has a melting range between 180 up to 203, 206 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is a little bit more tenacious than your T1 Carnauba. Carnauba wax is a wax from the leaves of the Carnauba palm, found in Brazil, and it's used in automotive waxes, shoe polish, and many other applications. Used on speedboats in the 60s on the hulls for speed and handling in salt water, many other applications. But T1 Carnauba has a melting point between 180 and 187. So the T1 Carnauba and the Montan wax is going to be your best bet. Montan wax, which is what's in the Meguiar's white wax, along with probably some pigments and some other cleaners, we're going to use on the surface of the Escalade here and see if we can brighten it up a bit. Let's get to work. So this thing is a pearl white. You can also use it on your bright white, Arctic white colors. I mean, it has some imperfections here and there. I'll break out the swirl finder. But I mean, you can do paint correction if you want to, but basically wash the car, decon it, and then you can either by hand use the Meguiar's white wax, or you can use a polisher and machine it as well. We'll do both. We'll use a rinseless and just, I already washed it, but it's been sitting here collecting a little bit of dust. So we want to make sure the surface is clean at the very least. So do a wash, decon, clay, iron remover, use a panel prep to make sure there's no other old waxes or sealants left over, and you can apply the white wax directly onto the surface. So let me just quick do a rinseless. We'll tape off an area. We'll do one little section by hand, one by machine, and we'll see if the gloss increases, see what it looks like, check the slickness, and just check the overall characteristics of the white wax and see if it satisfies me as much as the LVR 403 and 404, which is polymer instead of a wax. All right, let's at least get the hood. Quick rinseless. Doesn't take long before correction dust flying around in the air settles on it, so at the very least you want to wash the vehicle. Decon. All right, that'll work. Let's get two areas masked off. One on this side. On this side. Let's get some gloss meter readings before we get started. We're looking at 91. And over here, around 88. And we'll see if there's any difference at all. All right, let's see what's in here. Is it just going to be the tube? What's holding it? No, the cap was holding it. Okay, and there is an applicator, a foam applicator. Well, foam on one side and sort of a real short nap microfiber on the other. Interesting. So let's take off the cap, and we're gonna have to use this to open up, get in there and bore open the tip, and there we go. So in the one section, we'll do it by hand, and you can see it just looks like toothpaste coming out of a tube. And we'll massage it in by hand, clean the area up, and in the other section, we'll machine it. Okay, using the non-foam side, you want to add the product and start massaging it into the paint with moderate pressure, overlapping 2 to 4 times. So that's what we'll do. And I can feel, I mean, this is hard to see, but I can feel some abrasiveness in there. That could be intentional, maybe it's not intentional. Sometimes they use clay to control moisture in some of these products, but more than likely it's just something that breaks down quickly and used in the cleaning process. Okay, so I'm going to go over this, and I'm going to work it and cross over. And make sure I do so 2 to 4 overlapping passes. Let me get you up off of the stand here, bring in just a little bit closer so you can see what this looks like. If you don't have a machine, this is the way you're going to have to do it. I always advise to go out, and you can buy polishers locally at Walmart and your parts stores, Pep Boys. Those are the polishers with the shorter throw, so it's not going to get you in trouble. If you feel the need, you could practice, pick up some panels locally from a body shop. They're always happy to get rid of them. Grab some horses from Harbor Freight and practice a little bit. Okay, so we've worked it, and we did get some transfer of traffic film or who knows what after the wash. So it's giving it a deep clean. We're gonna let it haze over. We'll wipe off the residue, and we'll come in and take a look. While we're waiting for it to haze up, we'll get things together to team the Meguiar's white wax paste up with a polisher, and we'll use a DA ultrafine pad from Rupees, however you like to say it. I don't give a crap how it's pronounced, I just need to know how it performs. And we're ready to go. And with this being a white pad, and we don't need anything really crazy aggressive, but being a light colored pad, we'll be able to see what kind of traffic film or bonded contaminant that really worked its way onto the surface of the paint transfers onto the pad. So it cleans, lays down that Montan wax, and gives it a little bit of protection. Again, Montan is going to be the more durable, tenacious wax out of all of them. If you wanted to add a wax, you can add a wax or a polymer to something like this, and they both would work perfectly fine. Okay, this has hazed over. So wiping off the residue, it's a little grabby, but it comes off with hardly any effort whatsoever. It has a little bit of slickness. Waxes definitely don't have the type of slickness that ceramic coating or something in that class would, but it feels really good. Remove these two strips of masking tape. Okay, I'll get you up off the stand here. Can you see a difference? So here's the line that goes up, protected, cleaned up, unprotected. Can you see a difference? It looks a bit brighter, a little bit more whiter. This looks a little bit darker. So its cleaning capabilities probably more than anything else, but it looks good. Feels good, has the wet look again. Let's get over to this section and use the product and machine it, see if there's a difference. I'm not sure if this is going to come and transfer onto the camera, but walking up to the vehicle again, I can definitely see that line where it's been cleaned and protected and where it's bare. So there is a noticeable difference. Okay, this time we're going to machine it. Let's get the cap off the tube. 1, 2, 3. Set this down. Spread out the product. And we'll do this with overlapping motions as well. Same thing, correction speed, speed of the polisher between the 3rd and the 4th speed setting, and moderate pressure. So it does have a decent cycle time. You could do 3 or 4 passes. Very little dusting. Hardly any dusting whatsoever. And transfer, yeah, I mean, you can see some of the traffic film and other bonded contaminants that we've given a deep clean to the surface of the vehicle. We're going to let that haze over and we'll wipe that off. Slightly hazed over, let's remove the residue from this side. Again, still easy to wipe off. No difference between hand applying and machine applying. Some of the deeper scratches in here. Remove this, we'll get the swirl finder and we'll check these 2 areas and see if there's been any correction to speak of before we check anything else. All right, let's take a look up here. And I'm not sure if you could see that haziness, some swirls. Not the best clarity. And down here, nice optical clarity. You can see the pearl coming through. Now, it can't remove these deep scratches right here. But it does have correction capabilities, as well as laying down some of that Montan wax and giving it a good look. How about this side over here? Best to machine it. Let me just put it that way. It does bring out some of the clarity. You can see the glare up here from the light, and by hand, we got rid of that and brought out some clarity. So even by hand, even if you have to do some of this stuff by hand, it's better than nothing. All right. Last time we checked in this area before we did our little test run, we had 91 gloss units, and it has jumped up to 98.4. So you could see visibly by the naked eye a jump of 4 to 5 gloss units. So that is significant. Over here it was, what, 88 gloss units, and we're now at 95.3. So both sections, there was a definite marked difference. When it comes to slickness, it feels cleaner, but there's not really a slick or silky feel to it. Takes some nudging to get it to slide down. I mean, and so does this, so there's really very little difference. Maybe a little bit, slight difference. Okay, so we got out the pressure washer here. Are we going to see a difference in beading or water behavior? I'm gonna have to get you off the stand so you can see a little bit better. White is difficult to see everything, but not crazy water beading. It sheets more than anything else. And a Montan wax, here you can see the outline. It sheets, and that's the characteristic of a Montan wax. Over here, same thing. You're gonna see that outline, and you're going to see it sheet quickly. So sheeting capabilities when it comes to water behavior, it has some correction capabilities. You can see a difference with the naked eye. It will raise the gloss quite significantly. No slickness or no really good feel when it comes to that characteristic of the white wax from Meguiar's. But that gives you another option, guys. Extreme Solutions, LVR, the Meguiar's white wax, kind of in the same category. One lays down acrylic polymers, the other one a Montan wax, but will get you to where you want to go. So there you go. Let's go over the characteristics of the Meguiar's white wax. Sheeting capabilities when it comes to water behavior. It does have some correction capabilities. You can see with the naked eye the difference before and after. It does increase the gloss, actually quite significantly and surprisingly. No real feel to it when it comes to slickness or a silky feel. Doesn't change much there. But there's an option. So if you're a fan of the LVR 403, 404 from Extreme Solutions, which is a cleaner polish with slight correction capabilities and has some fillers and pigments and just brightens up your whites or your darker colors depending on which one you have. I believe they have one for dark colors as well here. Let me know down in the comments section what you think of these types of products. They have their place. It's maybe a small niche, but they do have their place. This has been Brian from Apex Detail. I'll catch you in the next video. As a rating for these products, I mean, they're not gonna, when it comes to durability, you're talking about just a few washes, so 6 out of 10, but not bad. Not bad at all.